the camera.
That's fine. Okay, I'm here with director Rob Grant, who has got a film shown today, Fake Blood, at Grimmfest 2017.
Hey.
How you doing? You alright?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's fine. And you're a bit jet lagged, but you're ready for the premiere?
I lost my evening. I'd gotten a plane at 4 p.m. Vancouver time and arrived here at 1 p.m. Manchester time. So
what's the sort of time difference you're looking at there then? Because you must be all over the place then.
I'm not sure. All I know is my night disappeared.
Okay, so yeah, tell us a bit more about Fake Blood.
I mean, it's a tough one to kind of describe. We're calling it a docu-thriller, and it's me and Mike Kovac are trying to figure out what our responsibility in making movie violence is after receiving a very creepy fan video.
So is this, is the way of describing this, is this a social commentary of sorts then? On the kind of the whole violence thing within cinema?
Well, it was more me subconsciously. I always had this nagging feeling in the back of my head of what my responsibility is. I mean, there's a lot of shit you hear and read about in news and TV, and a part of me just wanted to make sure, or at least explore what I'm contributing to that. And I think getting a fan video where two people talk about what tools they would use to dismember a corpse really kind of drove it home that shit, I need to start maybe at least being a little more conscious about what I'm putting out there. I think deep down, for most genre filmmakers too, that might just be a subconscious thing that we have, is we want to make sure that we're entertaining, but there's a line you kind of want to make sure that you're riding without getting gratuitous or offensive, maybe is the right word.
Yeah, and how would you describe it in a way as like almost like the kind of film within a film then? Is it that was the vibe that I got from looking at the sort of the plot line?
Yeah. It's a lot of what you see in the movie is us putting ourselves in situations to get a certain response or reaction. We didn't go in with a script, so we just needed to make sure that we kind of put ourselves in places where it was very easy for us to respond to certain elements. I can't go into too much detail due to many reasons, including legal, about what we've played up and what didn't. But I can say that when we had to get insurance to screen the film afterwards, we got denied by our first carrier because they were worried that the character John would be too easy to find out who he really is.
That's okay. So quite mysterious. So that gives us something to look forward to, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
At the same time.
The part of the themes that we found in the editing room was there's that blurred line between fantasy and reality, specifically with seeing myself on screen after the fact and editing it. I don't think people realize how easy it is to get lost in your own kind of narrative or what you think is your own narrative. And so we really also played with the structure of the movie in that way too, where we kind of blended things back and forth, and we wanted to make it a bit more of a challenge to try to decide what people are watching and how to perceive it. And
this follows on from your film Mon Ami.
Yes.
So how loosely or directly does it connect?
It's directly connected to Mon Ami in the sense that after we released Mon Ami in 2013-14, around that time, we were selling DVDs out of our house. And we got a DVD order. I'd always make sure to respond and say thank you very much. Mike would package the DVD and send it out with a return address just in case it got bumped back. And then I got a follow-up email from this gentleman who said, well, here's a fan video that me and my friend have made. And it was literally him and his friend walking through a hardware store talking about what tools they would use to chop up a corpse. And I got really rattled by that. And I showed Mike, and he immediately stopped putting his return address on any future DVDs that went out. And that's the genesis of the whole thing. That stuck with me for a couple of years. And then I was having a meeting with a producer friend at Toronto Film Festival last year. And I told him I'm still being bothered by this thing that I don't have any resolution to. And so he's like, you know what, I think that's a movie you need to make. And so that was kind of the genesis of the idea, and we hit the ground running pretty quick after that.
Okay, and one final question then. In terms of the film itself, how hard is it to pitch the film to Grimmfest and to, well, just festivals in general? Yeah,
you know what, it has been difficult. Well, in the sense of, because I mean, it's kind of like describing what Catfish is kind of the best way I'd like to put it, is that's a documentary, but it's obviously had some elements played up, but you know what any good documentary does too. I think, you know, Searching for Sugarman is a perfect example. That movie plays up a lot of elements that, while true, might have been heightened, and I feel the best way we can describe it is a docu-thriller, in the sense that we're us in the movie, we're putting ourselves in these somewhat dangerous situation. I end up being a bit of an asshole throughout most of it, but it's done in a sense that it's also meant to be somewhat tense and suspenseful and thrilling, and it was just a challenge for us to try and carve out what that is to audience members. It's kind of one we hope that people just watch and have to go, oh, you gotta check out this crazy little movie that we just saw.
Okay, that's great, Rob. Thank you very much.
Hey.